Hello again, everybody. I'm back with the second mission of the hard campaign, which is the first unique mission. The story is still exactly the same as the original Max vs. Flak debut, but the map is totally different and much more interesting. I've heard several people say this is one of the hardest missions of the campaign for them, although for me it was always fairly easy, so I think I just have a good strategy here, which I'm looking forward to showing you. You can see, as I said, the map is totally different. It's now kind of a sideways U, with no easy access at this side of the U. We need to go around the long way, which you can see is guarded by a laser cannon. The laser fires every single day, and you probably notice it watches several important properties. Most crucially that base, but also the only city that's near us, so we really can't capture very much. It does damage Flak's troops, by the way. Alright, let me get myself an APC and another infantry, and we'll call that good. Now, Flak will either open with a tank or an artillery, after his APC that is. And if he happens to go with an artillery, we don't need an early tank. But if he goes with a tank, then we do need it. And I don't like to run luck-based strategies here, so I'm going to go with the worst-case scenario where he does get himself out that early tank. We just need to have one of our own to counter. So his APC, and we'll see what he actually gets in terms of combat units soon. Alright, now what I want is drop off a person in range to capture that port. So, we'll go like that. Now you can go for this capture, and sometimes you get away with it, sometimes you won't. I'm not certain whether it's worth it. In this case, I'm going to try it. The question basically is, does he happen to get an artillery that drives over at the right time to stop you? He did be at it for several turns because he takes so much laser damage, of course. Okay, he built himself a tank. That's fairly normal for him. So we do need our tanks. It's a good thing we built it. Make sure you drop off on the right side this time. The spacing works out perfectly this way. I used to try things like building the APC the first turn, but I found that it didn't really actually save you any time, or any substantial amount of time. Probably get an artillery this turn. Yep, artillery. Okay, and we'll see if it ends up being in a crucial position at the wrong time. Okay, we are good. So, indirects like the ones that Flak is going to be spamming are really powerful in this mission, just because of the way the terrain is shaped, basically. There's lots and lots of choke points where they can hold you off more or less indefinitely. Not great. And of course, being Max, we can't use our artillery ourselves. And that's one of the main problems we have in this mission. We'd love to use indirects, but you're not good at them. Again, the hard campaign often makes you play against your CO's strengths in interesting ways, so I appreciate that. Ow. It looks like as long as he doesn't stop himself, he is going to interrupt this capture. But I'll keep going just in case he does happen to stop himself. Alright, so we'll go for that back capture first. And build ourselves a Max. I'm going to call them battleships now. I think I wore that joke out previously. For the hard campaign, the joke is done with. They're now officially called battleships. We need to get that. It's the only way we can attack the laser, because we can't use artillery because artillery have too small a range. They're also just pretty good. Yeah, okay, he moved his artillery in the right way. So this whole thing with that infantry was for nothing. Alright, we'll pack it in, give it up, build more infantry. I think I'll just drive up and first strike that. Not bad at all. You can try to lure him into laser range, and it's semi-useful. But the problem is that the laser fires at the start of his turn. There's his rocket. That rocket is the most problematic unit that he builds all mission long, pretty much. You need to find a way to deal with it. How much money have I got? Okay, I'll be alright. Anyway, if I just sit tight, he shouldn't be able to attack me at this point, so I'll just bottleneck him like that. But yeah, that rocket in these narrow strips of land, tanked for by his infantry, and also often by things like woods that slow you down, really hard to deal with. So take that thing out. Walk over here, go for that capture next. Otherwise, we just wait. One thing you could maybe try would be to kind of put a permanent damper on your income, but just keep building yourself infantry and walking them over into rocket range every single turn until it runs out of ammo or something like that. I haven't tried it, but it might actually work, oddly enough. Okay. So we've got now 2 battleships. Which will be quite useful for cutting through his army. Unfortunately, we can't deal with that rocket right now. We can't capture that property. So we'll just walk in a position to get it later on. Well, this is a pretty good spot. I guess I could also have one of these fire from where it currently stands. And then back up and let him come to me for a little bit. That should wreck his formations pretty badly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so if I stand here, I am safe. He might not even dare advance with 2 battleships there pointing his way, but we'll see. We'll see how clever Flak is today. Not too bright today, Flak. So, take down that tank. The time limit for this mission, by the way, is extremely generous, which is why you don't really need to worry. As long as you have a decent strategy, you'll be just fine eventually. I think it's 34 days or something like that, like just unheard of amounts of time. I should probably cycle that tank back and give it some repairs. The other thing I should do is get myself out a medium tank. Very good for instant killing his guys. Man, he's really just determined to watch that city forever, isn't he? I've never seen that before, so I'm going to be a little bit short on income this time, it seems. But, oh, double rockets. Man, I cannot believe how smart / obnoxious Flak is being this time. Okay. Oh, I'd love to position myself there, but the artillery is covering him. I'll cycle that guy back for repairs, I think. And just start poking at these guys, too. That guy will be going back for repairs. $12,000. I could get myself a lander. You can kind of do a 2-pronged assault against him sometimes. And you know what, I think I'm going to do that, since he's doing an unusual amount of tanking with his double rockets and things like that. Need to kill about 4 or 5 units in one turn, by the way, to get a good power score here. You can also shoot his lander. He feels obligated to replace it, plus it costs a lot of funds every single turn, which is also quite useful. If I shoot that, I wonder if it'll run back. Probably not. It'll probably just crowd it, but we'll see. We just take shots at things. Okay, I'm never going to get that city. goes that. You know what? I've got a clever idea, actually. Great. I can put this idea into practice in a turn or two, I think. Where's his other rocket, come to think of it? Still a ways off. Good. Leave him nothing that he can tank with. This could work at least. It is worth a try. Although now I guess he has higher defense, so that might spoil things. We'll see. Can't actually attack him this turn, so it's completely wasted on offense. Anyway, what I realize I can do now is if I go for this capture, his rocket is obligated to shoot me because it always shoots captures before anything else. Meaning that I can now advance safely into range of it with these guys without needing to worry. 1, 2, 3, 4. That'd be pretty efficient. I will end up taking a hit here, of course. He's got too many indirects for me to avoid taking a hit. But it's still a good outcome, at least. Probably the best thing I can do when he has double rockets, for whatever silly reason. Not as good luck there, but that's okay. And anyway, as I mentioned, I can now just cruise right on into range, because he is obligated to fire at any capturing infantry over any other target. He hates transports too, it seems. Well, that's fine. It fills up my power gauge. As long as the thing doesn't die, I don't really mind it taking some damage. Spamming up next, his infantry are all dying. Let's see. 1, 2... No, I don't have a way to do that. But what can I do? I can break through that guy. If I activate max force, can I do anything interesting that way? Maybe. I'll keep thinking about it. Well, I can already blast that guy down in one shot, which is, you know, the best you can hope for, basically. That guy can't hit anything useful currently, so that's fine with me. Takes care of that. So what I'd love to do is park the lander on one of those shoals, but it looks like I can't do that and live, so I'll just have to delay a turn. It's alright. It's not great, but it's alright. And maybe I'll get myself a max blast this way and really crush him one of these turns. We'll see. Oh, I think his artillery is feeling lucky. Not artillery, his rocket. But I think he has just thrown it away, so that's great for me. Because now I can use my double tanks and wipe out that rocket and break through faster than usual. Typically what I need to do is save up for a power or something like that, or use another bait unit and break through that way. And then at the same time I'd like to do a lander drop behind his lines of double MD tanks, so he just has too many targets to shoot at the same time, and that it gets overwhelmed very rapidly. Let's go to the formation like that, and then drive these guys forward full speed. So unfortunately, he's covering most of the dropping off places. What can I do about that? Well, let's suppose I got a max blast. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, bam! I lose the tank though, but I think it's still worth it to drop my MD tanks off unmolested. So, what do we need to do to get to that level? I'm not sure I can actually get it, but it's worth a try. I can get it. 5, 6, 7. This guy can't do anything useful though. So is it worth it, or should I just have an MT get shot at? I think it's worth it, probably. I need to clear that mech off too, don't I? I must clear the mech to drop anything useful off anyway, so that means it's not worth it. Okay, fine. I will wait for next turn. And I'll block that city so that he doesn't get any smart ideas about attacking my tank with him having a city for defense. Alright. The APC is along for the ride, of course, just to get to his HQ at some point. It's not awful. Yeah, this is not a good way for the assault to go, but he happened to have good positioning. He happened to have double rockets this time. You can see my strategy adapts to that pretty well. Sadly, the AI never does just give up while they still can, as he suggested there. That would save a lot of time. Get that capture. This can only shoot one thing, so I might as well go for it. What would it take? Can that guy finish that? Yes, he can. The other battleship can cruise forward at full speed. We'll bring in more MD tanks. 90% is pretty good. That looks even better to me, though. Although at 90% he might be tempted to go back for repairs, and that would be excellent. At least if we can block up his city, that would be excellent. So he is forced by AI stupidity to go and heal himself on his factory. He's going to have his superpower this turn, I think, though. Yeah, he's got it. So I need to watch out for that. He could do a lot higher damage than expected. I guess I can just kill that thing off of the base. That would encourage him to play the wrong way. Allow this tank a decent first strike on that mech. Not a great first strike, but a decent one. If I drop off here, he can't actually do much to me. It's a good position then. I'll do that. So he gets one big attack, but in order to do it, he has to block his own factory, so that will help me. Okay, well, he repaired in a lame place, but that's okay. About average luck for his mech there, I think. Maybe a little above. Nothing substantial. Oh, never mind. He didn't take the attack, so he does continue to block for now. Well, what can I do about that? So what I want to do is clear that mech off and create a screen of MD tanks so I can start the capture. Do I have the means to do that? The answer seems to be no during this turn. Just try to put a lot of damage on him then. That scissors will be useful over there. Take out his mech here. I'm pretty confident I killed enough units in one turn at some point to get a good power score. Without actually counting it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get some use out of this guy before he captures next turn. We can't easily win by route, by the way. To do that we need to destroy all his landers and block all his ports, which I find is not really worth the trouble most of the time, unless you get bottlenecked by the port for a long time anyway, I guess. Put the other thing on there. I guess in this case where he had a good defense around his HQ, it probably would have been faster by a little, like a turn to go for the lander, but that's a rarity. Okay, the HQ is now unguarded. These surprisingly useful max battleships help clear off the mechs. I'm going to go for the capture here, and I will just wall up and not waste any further time on combat animations. Alright, and that's it for Flak. And time for the second mission of the hard campaign. That wasn't too bad, was it?
Mission complete.
Lots of tanks blowing up this time, alright. I didn't show this last time, but you get double credit for your points in the hard campaigns. If you clear it with 300 points, you gain 600 points worth of stuff to buy in the store. It's a pretty good deal. You see there that I won with a whole 10 turns left on the clock, so even with things going wrong, this strategy is very effective for this mission. Alright, things I believe open up next time. Nope, guess I'm wrong about that. Things do not open up next time. Well, I guess that is our first Andy mission, I think. Till then, have a great day, everyone.